Welcome to the special edition of The Nines, presented by AT&T. I'm Frodan, I'm joined by Crumbs, and today we have Cloud9 League of Legends pro player Sneaky. Thanks for stopping by. I know you're really busy, man.
No problem.
All right, so the way this is going to go, we're just going to sit down and chat with Sneaky, and we know that you have a busy scrim schedule that you pull away from, so make sure to watch Sneaky and the Cloud9 team on the path to LCS glory, and you can follow Sneaky on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, Instagram, and apparently Patreon.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably the big thing that a lot of people have noticed recently, especially if they're not from League of Legends. What kind of got you into, like, obviously being pro player and being really good at the game, but also getting into cosplay and all this Patreon nonsense?
I mean, it kind of just started from the fans, honestly. I wasn't really doing anything like it, and then randomly, my fans on the stream were just like, would you wear something, you know, like so-and-so, and someone gave me like a schoolgirl outfit initially, which is like 2017, I think. I'm like, I'm not gonna wear that, but they sent it to me. And then like months went by, and then it was like Halloween, like my chat was like encouraging me to do it, so I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So I tried it, and then they loved it. So then I just got like, the next one I think was 2017 Worlds,
right?
Where a Chinese fan gave me a maid outfit that they said, would you wear something like what you wore before if you got to quarters? And I was like, maybe, I don't have anything. So she went out and got me something. I'm like,
wow,
okay.
She brought it to you at the venue and you had to just wear it then.
Yeah, so I just took pictures in it and people loved it. I'm like, okay, this seems to be going well. So then I planned something for Halloween when I got back. And like literally every time it was just getting better. So I'm like, okay. So then I tried the Lux, that one went insane. And then did pizza delivery server and it was like, oh my God. So from there, I decided to do Patreon, which just helps me make it monthly, because before the only thing I really had to go on was just Twitch, and it's like, I don't know if it's really that easy to support it on Twitch, because it's like, yeah, subscribe and I'll do some at this number, but then like, you know how the Twitch numbers of subs fluctuate so often? Like sometimes you just can't stream, sometimes people just don't sub, so then I feel like it'd be really bad if people saw me at like, you know, I'm like 4K for this cosplay, and then it's like my sub numbers go down because I can't stream, and it's like 4K again for this cosplay. It's like, where'd the other ones go?
Sure.
So, yeah.
So if so much of it is instigated by the fans, do you have a wave of fans right now that is asking for, hey, Sneaky, would you mind selling, you know, a specific bottled item?
I knew that was coming. I haven't really received that much like requests for it. There's been some people like trolling me about it, and then like trolling isn't like asking and like not really seriously asking. So I don't know, like if I get tons of requests, then I would consider it more. But it's also, I saw what Belle said about it. She's like, I didn't realize how hard it would actually be to bottle up so many things of bath water. And if you saw it,
weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, she was like, all right, I'm not doing anymore, but I'm selling a whole bucket's worth for one, because she's like, I'm not doing so many bottles anymore.
That's the problem.
Yeah. What's it like dealing with, you know, so much of that fandom with that side, trying to like balance, of course, the pro life with the extreme amount of fans that know you because they love that cosplay and they think it's really fun?
I mean, I feel like they mix together pretty well. Just fans of me in general, and then fans of the cosplay. It's kind of hard to see a separation. I know there are some that are there just for cosplay because they express it sometimes. Like, actually, recently I tweeted, there's like a Sivir bug with her W where it'll hit people in Fog of War, and it never did that.
Right.
I tweeted that, and they responded, I don't know what you just said, but when's the next cosplay?
Shut up, next picture, please.
I was like,
Gotcha.
oh, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's really shown also just based off of how the fans react, how much they really love you. And I mean, I guess we should probably ask a few questions about League of Legends as well while we're out here.
I got a few that can connect both, actually.
Go ahead.
How has the cosplaying affected your dynamic within the team? Because if I was on a team and out of nowhere, you know, I show up one day and I see my teammate cosplay, I'm like, what's going on? Right? Did your coach talk to you differently? The players, like, what happened there?
I don't think they really talked to me differently at all, for sure. I think I'm pretty well respected in the team too, so it'd be kind of weird for them to talk to me differently. I mean, they were like, when I initially did it, like the Pizza Siver one, I was out in the front of the house, and then Eric came home from some like food or something, and I was in the cosplay, and I'm like, hey man. And then like when I was in the Lux one, I go to get water because I was like streaming in my room, and I see random people. I'm like, hey dude, some water here. They're like, oh, you're cosplaying. So it's always a surprise for them, and it's a funny interaction, but it hasn't really changed the dynamic of how I talk to them or anything.
I mean, it seems like they're pretty supportive of anything.
Yeah, they always respond to it on Twitter. Like, I think the recent one is, what was it? It was like something brother, like looking good brother, I think is the one, yeah.
That's good. And I think people are also just curious about like the team dynamic in general. So, talking a little bit about that teammate and you living in the house and just being able to chill with a bunch of people. What's it like right now in the Cloud9 team, given that you're the longest standing member and you've been competing for so long? So, how do you feel about, this year's team and relative to everything else in the past?
So since the beginning of like the roster changes, it has changed a lot, my role within the team. Initially, when I was in the first Cloud9, I never had too much of a big voice because my teammates were all really good and I really respected them. So like I always listened to what they say. And it's not like I don't listen to what my teammates say now, but like I would listen to them especially more and I wouldn't talk as much. Mm-hmm. But as each change has come in with like rosters and stuff, I kind of had to pick up a bit more of it because every person coming in will probably be what I was like when I came into the first C9, because it's like you don't really know how the interactions are, and you kind of have to have people talking. And there was just a lot of moments in like 2016 roster, 2017 roster where like no one would say anything. So like I would have to just fill the silence, and I'm like, okay, like well here's what I think, and it kind of evolved from there to a point where like whenever I'm able to say something, it kind of like really brings the team together and kind of helps us get onto the same mindset. And there's not really a lot of like arguing what I say. It's not like because I'm always right or anything. It's just like I usually try to bring in like a opinion that is pretty agreeable with for how we should play.
So is that part of the reason why Cloud9 has such a good time bringing up rookies, or have more to do with Reaper's Mind Palace?
I don't know. I think it's a combination of a lot of things together. I think all of the rookies are really comfortable when they're playing. We don't put a lot of pressure on them to perform because that's not really their job. Like they're supposed to be the ones that will get carried, but we're able to bring them into like a relaxed environment where it's not like, oh, you made a mistake. Like that's the end of the world, bro. Like you're not gonna play next game. Like it's not that kind of feeling. It's like, oh, you died here. Like it's fine. Just keep playing, keep going. Like there's nothing wrong with dying. Like making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So I think it's just everyone's combined attitude that helps rookies a lot.
What do you think has been one of the most contributing factors for your growth as a player throughout the years? Because I think a lot of people have seen that dynamic shift over the course where, from the very beginning in 2013 when you were winning LCS all the way to now and still being in LCS and still being part of Cloud9.
It's pretty hard to say because the game changes so much that you have to grow in different ways. Because before, like Season 3, Season 4, I felt like AD Carry had a lot of agency, like potential to affect the game. And then from Season 5, it kind of shifted away from AD carries. Mm-hmm. So like I had to learn different skills that were just how to play best with the team while also not being like the biggest factor in that. So the way it's changed, I feel like every year it's always been different. Like Season 6, there was, actually Season 7, there was the Ardent meta. I don't know if you watched all that, but...
Sadly.
Yeah, it's like the AD carry is the most insane thing ever because they just get their supports to rush items, skip boots, skip sightstone. So it's like you had to learn...
Gold points.
yeah. Like you had to learn everyone had to learn how to play around the AD carry in a way that you made him live and he can kill everybody instantly. So I had to learn that year. Last year, it was just how to fight instantly everywhere, like how to defend vision. Like one thing we learned in group stages, Season 8, which was last year, after we lost to Genji, they killed one person on the team, and then they literally face check the entire map. And like I was looking at it in the replay, and I'm like, they're actually so killable because they think they're God for killing one guy, but we could literally trap them and kill them immediately. So then from there, we just started trapping like everything, and we got so many kills and got so many advantages that the game was just so much easier. And like that's something I had to learn as a player, and we learned it as a team, obviously. But there's just so many different things that go on that make me have to learn so many different ways to play.
So over the years, I've been looking at League forever as well, and it seems to me that learning and the ability to quickly learn something new and just forget that your old strategy worked is the best trait at staying good on League of Legends.
Yeah.
So how do you keep up with that? Because it's every single patch. Because I think that what's different within League, it's not that the new patch changes the meta, it's that what was scrimmed on Monday changes by Wednesday, and then on Thursday LCK plays, Friday you got somebody else playing something new, and then you got to wait for a new patch in LCS. So it just, the changes are so dramatic that what are the skills that you've said that, you know what, these transcend the patches and the changes, and I can still be a good player knowing this?
Yeah, it's always hard to judge a lot of that stuff because to me, it feels like the best way to go about it is what feels good to you. Like you play the game and you play it so much that you know when you're effective, you know when you're useless. And then you go and play games and it's like you try what, you know, Faker played in LCK, you play it, you're like, I was actually useless this game, guys, sorry. Or like you play what he plays and it's like, yeah, I'm smurfing, like I'm owning so hard. This feels so good to me. And then sometimes you even play something random, like, I don't know, like Niski played Veigar recently and he was just owning and it's like, okay, like that feels really good to me. Like let's keep playing it. And you kind of try to figure out when it feels good. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it is just what feels good when, like, otherwise you're just going to get wrapped up in like win rates and stuff. And it's just so much harder to go that way because you just see win rates and you don't really understand all of it based on the win rate because there's so many champions in the game and there's so many ways to play that it's just pretty much impossible to figure out everything instantly. Like even in Worlds, the meta changes within Worlds. Like week to week, you just see different stuff come out, and it's like last year's Victor just wasn't played much, and then suddenly quarterfinals, he's just the best top lane champion in the game, and then everyone's trying to figure out counters to him, even though the patch changed nothing. It's just how the game evolves, and you just have to figure out exactly how to beat everything going based on by feel.
You mentioned feeling good and just, you know, talking about your longevity for a while. I think a lot of people always wonder about burnout and talking about motivation and how you keep going. And there's a lot of players that have retired, right, over the years, and you kind of still last man standing from that original roster. So what keeps you going? Have you encountered that burnout? I mean, and what do you do to address that?
I've personally never felt bored of League of Legends.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think that is probably the biggest factor into people retiring or not wanting to play anymore, burning out, that kind of thing, because they'll just keep playing and they'll be like, I don't want to queue up for another one. That game was so boring. Like, I don't want to, it's just so frustrating. Like, the emotions can get to you for sure, but
I can relate to that a lot.
Yeah.
I get very frustrated.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, I feel like the things I do around each day help me a lot. Like after I end scrims, I'll usually take 2 hours or so to just do anything but League. Like watch shows, play the games, chill, get food, that kind of stuff. Just get myself away from it, and then I'll stream and go play it after. And I'll play it for, you know, like 4 or 5 solo queue games, and I'm never really bored during any of them. And like some games are annoying, frustrating, you know, sometimes get angry, but not too much. But yeah, I think it's a lot of that each day, and then we always have an off day. Sometimes you have to do stuff, but an off day helps. I still play League during the off day, but it's not excessively more than what I would normally play. It'd be like probably max 8, 9 games on an off day.
Okay.
Even though I could get like
So really decent amount of League of Legends.
What?
yeah, I mean, if you count every scrim game, I play 6 scrims, and then I play 4 to 5 solo queue. So that's 10 to 11.
Okay.
6 scrims being 2 or 3 blocks?
2 blocks.
Okay.
Yeah, some teams do 3 blocks too, but if they do 3 blocks, you actually get less games because I think if you do 3 blocks, you cannot play solo queue.
I think 3 blocks are a trap.
Yep.
Yeah.
You literally cannot play solo queue because that's gonna burn you out, and you're gonna feel so bad. Like you're gonna play those games after this 3rd block scrims, and you're like, my brain is melted. Yeah. So I think it's everything combined with how I schedule myself and pace myself for playing that keeps me not bored, and then it's also Riot changing the game enough too.
Sure.
To make it interesting at all points.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned watching shows. I think a lot of fans are also very interested in your personal interest on that. So is there any shows or anime, perhaps, that are really catching your eye these days?
I mean, Attack on Titan recent season was
so
really good. Yeah.
It's really good.
Loved it. Watching Demon Slayer. It's really good. I finished a lot of the seasonal animes, actually.
What's
Other
a
than-
seasonal anime?
It's just...
Whoa.
Okay, it's just
Where
like...
to start?
I mean, seasonal, I would just say, is anime that's currently being released week by week. So it's like, say, season 3 of Attack on Titan's out. Today you could watch the first episode, and then tomorrow, or like next week on the same day, you'll watch the second one.
So just
Like
like,
a regular TV
show,
show.
right?
Yeah, as opposed to like, like releasing an entire season's
I
worth
see.
of episode, like on
Okay.
Netflix, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just watched a lot of the current up-to-date stuff is kind of what I meant by that. But current, playing Danganronpa,
Okay.
which is an anime,
Sure.
and people were saying the game is way better than the anime. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was playing it instead. I don't know if you know what it is.
I've heard of it. I haven't actually watched it. My friends are pretty big fans of it. So
Yeah, it's like a, how do I describe it? It's, you get thrown into a school and there's this teddy bear that says you have to kill someone to get out and get away with the murder.
That's why people don't like anime. That's the problem.
I think that's why people do like it.
Yeah.
I think
It's
the premise is so weird and contorted that you're like, how does we even get this spot? Sneaky, from the fans, what's your top 3 favorite anime of all time?
Oof. I would say, I don't know if it's absolutely number 1, but I really liked Code Geass.
Okay. Classic.
Yeah, I actually watched the first episode, and I was bored, and I didn't watch it for like months.
Okay.
And then I went back to it, and I was like, oh, I actually messed up by not watching this. Besides that, there's some really good ones.
What about that one on Netflix? Devil
Kakegurui?
May Cry Baby.
I haven't watched that.
That's a pretty good one.
I'll probably check it out.
Netflix anime is still kind of like making
Have
its
you
way
seen it?
up. I mean, I have not, but I've seen some Netflix anime, which is like okay. But I mean, like I'm a big fan of like.
I think you guys would definitely like that.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought I was out of the conversation here, and I just stumped both.
Well, I mean, there's still like Neon Genesis Evangelion, for example, that's going on Netflix and whatnot. But I mean, I think a lot of people are just sort of curious, like what Sneaky's like favorite animes are in general. But Code Geass is still pretty solid because I think most people really like that. It's like a classic one for the ages.
Yeah, it's pretty old for sure.
All right, another question here from the fans. Then Chris Roos Films asks, "What was the best Cloud9 roster you played with? Which one was your favorite?"
Favorite? I would probably just say the original for sure. You know, Meteos, High, Balls, Lemon. We were together as 5 for the longest. I don't know if we were the longest of any team anymore, but at one point we hit a record for literally longest of 5 players staying together, which is insane.
The winning helped too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why it lasted so long. But I mean, it was always so fun to be with them, all their personalities.
Gotcha. All right, well then with one more question here, Not So Fat the Gamer asks, between all the pro player supports you've been with, which one was your favorite, either in or out of game reasons?
They're all really different personalities. Like Lemon was a pretty huge troll, but didn't actually talk that much. Zazel's really talkative. I'm getting to know him a lot better. Smoothie was fun to play with. He was pretty talkative too, and he liked freaking out whenever we're dangerous.
Okay.
I remember that about him. What else? I played with High for support. I mean, it's pretty much like playing with High mid as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He talks about the same things, tries to control the game. And I played with Bunny for a bit. I think that was it. I'm pretty sure. So, favorite of them all? I mean, I did say the original C9 roster, so
It'd be Lemon.
yeah, I probably get
Yeah,
better.
right. Yeah.
You guys innovated more than with anybody else. Ash Zyra.
Yeah, for sure. We played so much stuff, and that one we found from ourselves as well.
Do you have any plans post League of Legends?
Like when I'm not a pro anymore.
Yeah, or if you ever retire.
Did you see those old morphed pictures of everyone?
I have not.
What was the filter for that? That was amazing.
Yeah, it's an app. It's called like Face something. I can look it up after, but a lot of teams are doing it. It's really funny. It just makes you look like a grandpa.
Oh, it's like the change to
But
like
it's
a swap,
really
gender
good.
swap, but like you go really
Yeah,
old.
yeah, you go
Oh,
grandpa.
okay, I gotta check that out.
So yeah, I was gonna say like I'll be a grandpa playing League of Legends.
Nice, nice.
So, what are your plans to make cosplaying mainstream? Like, are you finding somebody to say, you know what, I'm gonna go with this musician and we're gonna cosplay together?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be. I think if it
You guys
was
did Spiral
mainstream-
Cats already.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're talking about like actual mainstream, it would be like music videos somehow.
That's the next.
that'd
That's
be-
the next step of Sneaky. A Patreon-sponsored music video with you cosplaying it.
Yeah.
No, it'd be like me featuring in some person's music video. So
Okay.
like
Oh,
some
okay.
popular artist.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
There we go. Let's
I
make
think
it
that'd be
happen.
the next step. I don't know if I'm saying I'm gonna do it, but
Well, also,
Nas, there it
you got nominated for Cosplayer of the Year as well, and I think people want to ask,
esports.
why, in your words, why should fans vote for you?
So just why?
well, I think the title of that was also esports cosplayer of the year, right?
We'll take it.
So I mean, it has to be me. Like, who else is in esports and cosplay?
Your teammate from Cloud9. We got one right here. Tens from Cloud9 CS:GO. There you go.
That's right. Did you actually meet him?
I saw him. I didn't really like say hi yet, but they're in the house for like a week or so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the last thing we want to talk about is your stream as well. You've been enjoying streaming. How do you kind of balance that back and forth? And what's it like interacting with your fan base, especially after all the cosplay hype that drove a lot of attention towards it?
It's always really fun for me. Every time I go into streaming, I'm just there for like the enjoyment. And I'm playing the game too because I love it. And then also streaming is just tons of fun interacting with them. Like every time I read the chat, there's always something funny. I mean, sometimes they're flaming and it's annoying, but I think that's with anything, right? Like there's love and then there's hate.
Yeah. Well, mainly love for you. I mean, people who flame you, they just really want your attention. It's the same as any other cosplayer.
Exactly.
The second you respond, like, oh, I can't believe you hit me up. You noticed me.
Oh my God, Senpai noticed me. Ah.
Regardless of how hateful the message
Exactly.
was.
Yeah, right?
180. It's like, oh, I didn't think you'd respond. But all right, well, thank you for chatting with us, Sneaky. We know you have a really busy schedule that to pull you away from. So again, as we mentioned, make sure to check out Sneaky and the Cloud9 team on the path to LCS Glory. And you can follow him on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yep.